Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's the end of 2013 and it's time to take a look at the whole year and see how our net worth has changed over the past 12 months. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am currently 19 years old. I'm living at my parents' house at the moment, which is about 5 miles from where I go to school. I'm just going to community college at the moment for engineering. I'm about 1 year into my engineering degree, so I should have an associate's degree about a year from now, and then should finish my bachelor's degree in about 3 years from now. I go to school from about 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., depending on the day, until about 2 to 2:30 p.m. So most of my morning I am at school, get a quick bite to lunch between classes, and then I go to work from 3 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And my job is about a mile away from where I go to school. So thankfully, home, school, and work is all within 5 or 6 mile radius. So I do have that going for me. The area that I live in the United States. There's about 100,000 people in the city that I live in. The average income for 2013 in my city was just under $45,000 this year. For the United States, it was 53,000. So people in my area tend to make maybe 10 to 20% less than the national average. The median home price in my area this year was 122,000. So that's the average price. So some houses are listed at 20, 30, 40,000. And then of course we have houses at 400, 500,000 and a couple maybe at $1 million, but that's very uncommon in my area. So if you had $1 million house, it'd be 20,000 square feet probably. So I'd say $120,000 house would be maybe 2,000 square feet in my area right now. Yeah, so that's kind of my schedule, a little bit about me, but we'll jump into some numbers here. So let's go back to 2012. So I graduated high school in May of 2012 and immediately started working maybe a week after that. I just worked at a local convenience store, started at, I think it was $7.65 an hour. And then I eventually moved up to $8.65 an hour in 2013. But in 2012, I only made 5,600, and you see I over tripled that in 2013. So I'll kind of explain that. A part of that was moving up at the convenience store, so moving up that dollar an hour. And then the second part was the number of hours that I worked. So in 2012, in the beginning of 2013, I was lucky to get 20 to 25 hours a week. But I did work with my boss at the beginning of the year and went from 20 hours to 25 hours a week up to 40. So he eventually moved me up to a salary employee. And instead of working at the convenience stores in April and May, I made the transition. I worked on a lot of his rental properties. I helped him with evictions, helped him with some of the remodels that he was doing, and managed more of the stores than what I was doing before. So I wasn't really working in the stores as much, which I enjoyed that change quite a bit. But then the real change came in October of this year. I left the convenience store job and started a very entry-level job in the pharmaceutical industry as an aseptic filling operator. So that moved me up to $11.95 an hour, but more critically, I am no longer salary, I'm hourly. And so that was quickly reflected in November and December, where I was able to work some overtime. So any time that I work over 40 hours a week, I get paid time and a half. So about $20 an hour, or sorry, $16, $17 an hour at time and a half. And then if I work 7 days in a row, I get double time on Sundays. So that would be about $22, $23 an hour, somewhere in there. So that was the probably the biggest change this year and thing that is helping move me forward. So if I would have stayed in the old job and especially working 20, 25 hours a week, I would probably have made maybe $10,000 this year. So but going forward, let's use December. So if I use December's income and do that for the next 12 months, I should make $26,000 or $27,000 next year. So, and that's assuming I don't move up and ever get hired on full time. So the pharma company that I'm working for right now is I'm technically a temporary employee for like an agency that like hires work to the pharma company, but usually you work for about 2 or 3 months and then you hire on full time at the pharma company in just the entry level position. Then you get all the benefits, health insurance, 401k, all that good stuff, PTO. And so I maybe have a month left before that happens, but yeah, so that was some of the positives. So changing jobs really helped me this year. Something else I think I did really good on this year was savings. I did have a couple things come up, but most months I don't think I went to a restaurant all year. I don't have any grocery bills since I'm living with my parents. I did give my parents that loan, I think it was in November, and just a couple odds and ends things. But really, I mean, savings total for the year, I think I did really good. And then the other thing I did really well was paying for my school in cash. So I never had to borrow student loans this year. There was a couple months where my cash, got down pretty low. But going forward, if I get hired on full time at the pharma company, which I should here in about a month, they will pay for my schooling, and so I'll have to pay for it up front, but when I pass the class they'll reimburse me all the money for it. So that's another probably $5 or $6 or $7,000 a year that I should be making just in tuition reimbursement, and so that'll keep me from going into debt. One thing I think I did very wrong this year, and it was at the very beginning of the year, was sell the old car that I had. As you all know, I was having car trouble, and for about 2 months I was walking to work, and I just actually skipped classes for those 2 months. I didn't fail any classes, thankfully, but I was really in a bind where I needed to purchase something, and I had a few $1,000s in my bank account, and I had that old car. So I sold the old car and then put that money down on a new 2013 Volkswagen Jetta, which I've leased for about 3 years. So I'm not quite 1 year into my lease, but the payment for that is $280 a month, which at the time was a probably very dumb decision. It was 1/3 of my pay at the time, but now moving into the new job, it's like maybe 12 or 13% of my gross pay. So not as concerning now. But if I would have not done that and somehow managed to keep the old car, my net worth would be significantly higher. Instead of being at negative 1,000, it'd be probably 17 or 18,000. So if I could go back and do it over again, I would, try to be more patient and maybe buy something used for 3,000 or 4,000 versus having the car payment. But for now, it's getting me to where I need to go, and it's a reliable vehicle, and so I'm just paying the price for it right now. But yeah, so for 2013, made $17,000 this year, so triple what I did last year. Taxes, paid a little over $4,000 in taxes, which that is crazy. I hope I get a good tax return here in a few months, but we'll see about that. So 4 times the amount of taxes that I paid compared to last year. Not quite 4 times, but close. Take-home pay as $13,000, so a little over triple what I did last year. So, I mean, all in all, if you compare it to last year, if I can triple my income every year, it'd just be 3 or 4 years and I'd make over $100,000. So that would be nice, but I'm pretty happy with that. Lifetime total, I've made a little over 23,000, paid $5,000 in taxes, and taken home $18,000 so far in my lifetime. So not bad for a year and a half. Next slide here is net worth statement. So like I said, I sold the 1999 car. I leased the 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. And so since I've technically leased the vehicle, I don't technically own the vehicle, so I didn't put it under property. I owe $280 a month. So starting in May, that was a total of $9,126. You see here. And sorry, we'll go back a couple. So yeah, I kept making that car payment, and I now owe $7,296. So I've paid that down almost $2,000 over the past 6 or 7 months. So making progress there, but still don't have anything in investments. Once I hire on full time, it should be maybe 2 months or so, and then I'll be eligible for their 401k. So I'll start to chip in some money there. Unfortunately, the company does not have a very good match. It's like, I think it's 2% if I contribute 2.5%. So it's pretty small from my understanding, but But looking at cash, the very bottom here in the yellow or yellowish orange, started the year off with $569 in cash, and I mean throughout the year just progressively built that up, $500 a month, $1,000 a month in some cases. I had a couple months where I had to pay for school, like in August, so you saw a drop there. And now I'm sitting at $5,655 in cash. So my current net worth is minus 1,641 compared to where it was a year ago at 4,069. So a little bit depressing there. I went down $5,600, unfortunately, compared to the beginning of the year. But focusing on the positives, I have a better job now, better income opportunities that I can make. I've got a more reliable vehicle, so I can make sure I don't get fired from my job for my car breaking down. And this job is a little bit too far for me to walk to. It's about 5 miles, so that would take me about 2 hours to probably get there. So yeah, just I'm in a better position from a consistency standpoint, but from a net worth standpoint, I definitely took a hit. So should be able to improve in 2014. But let's jump into our goal pace here. So this goal is me becoming a millionaire by the age of 30. And I made it somewhat of an exponential curve where towards the later years, as I turn 27, 28, 29, there's more and more, the goal gets faster and faster. And then I made it to where in these beginning areas, stages of my life, it's a little bit slower. But nevertheless, the blue line here is the goal pace that I would need to keep in order to become a millionaire by the age of 30. And so you can see I am not doing a very good job at all. So the car this year really, really killed me. But I'd like to focus on, if I didn't sell the car, I would have a net worth of about 17,000, 17,500-ish. I wouldn't be quite as far behind. I'd be about $12,000 behind. But even though this graph is a little bit depressing, I am somewhat excited. You can see down at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, December 2013, I had my first month ever where I made progress. I made up $200. So, and I really didn't work that much overtime. So I really think I could work, probably 16 to 20 hours a week in overtime. If I can not fail out of school, then I could probably maintain that pace. And I've heard rumors here at work too that if there's a pandemic or something that comes, they usually have they work every other weekend. So you'll work 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. You'll work that weekend, and then you'll have the next weekend off. So I could probably pick up weekends, and I'm sure the people that I work with would love for me to pick up their weekend for them. So that's kind of my plan for the short term. But yeah, this is where I'm looking at right now. So not a great year. The car really hindered me, but I'm doing good from an income perspective. So I hope we head into 2014. I'm able to work a lot of overtime, get caught back up to this goal, and kind of have a short-term goal to start looking for some rental properties or something that I can at least move out of my parents' house and start to remodel. So yeah, thank you all for joining the video, and for last month and next month's video, see the links on your screen now. There's some helpful links down in the description below for Excel spreadsheets, and as always, if you guys have any comments or questions, things that you'd like me to incorporate into the video, just comment them down below, and I'll be sure to get them incorporated. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you in the next video.